Hi everyone, my name is Muna and I like to read tarot. Today I felt like doing a reading on how to feel good. There is so much craziness going on in the world right now. I thought all of us could do with a little bit of guidance on how we can feel just a little bit better. So I have placed 3 crystals in front of you. This is crystal number 1, crystal number 2, and crystal number 3. I ask that you pick the crystal which you are most drawn to, or alternatively, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and meditate on which crystal is the right crystal for you. And when you are ready, please refer to the timestamp in the description box below, and I will see you at your reading. Hi, if you're tuning into this reading, that means you picked the first crystal. You have the 3 of Wands in the upright, the 8 of Cups in reverse, 4 of Swords in reverse, the Chariot in reverse, the Queen of Cups in the upright, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles in the upright. So I'm sensing that there's a lot of restlessness on your part, that you want something to happen right now, and there's frustration. There's a lot of impatience as to why this thing that you want is not here right now. Why hasn't it happened yet? I feel like you've put so much into this thing, whatever it is. You've put so much effort and hard work into it. There's been restless nights. You've barely slept on some occasions just trying to get this objective, this goal done or achieved. And it still hasn't happened yet. And there's just a lot of frustration on your part as to why. And I think you're tired. You just want it to be done right now. You don't know what else you could possibly do. I feel like you've given it your all. And this thing that you want to happen just hasn't happened yet. And you're at a loss as what can you do next? But I'm hearing that this is probably not what you want to hear, but the only thing that you can do is wait and trust that you have done enough. You have put the work in. And all you have to do right now is trust that it is enough and it will happen when it needs to happen. It will happen at the best time that it needs to happen. It will happen at the right time. And you might think that, well, now is the right time. Why can't it just happen now? But I'm hearing that you just have to trust in the universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in, that it will happen at the moment that it needs to happen. And maybe there is a lesson that will come from this waiting period. The process is a part of the journey. You can't avoid the process. A lot of learning comes from the process of whatever it is that you want. I'm not getting a clear message what it is that you do want, but I'm just hearing that you just really have to appreciate the process. I feel like you're so consumed about when it will happen that you're not taking any enjoyment from the process it takes to get to what you want to happen. I can say that in a way that makes better sense. Hold on. Okay. I feel like you understood, but this is just for me, because I know I can explain it well. You really want this something. I don't know what it is. And I think oftentimes we are so concerned about getting what we want, whatever it is. We're so concerned about receiving the results that we want that we don't take any enjoyment in not having what we want yet. I feel like a lot can be learned in the journey and process it takes to getting what we want and achieving what we want. And a lot of the times when we do get what we want, we look back and we realize how much has happened in the process it took from arriving where you wanted to arrive and your starting point. So much has happened from when you started the journey to where you are now, and you look back with a fondness, with an appreciation of having gone through that. And I feel like you're in that point right now. You're smack down in the middle of the process. And sometimes you can get so caught up in the frustration of not having achieved what you want yet that you don't take the time to process that you have done a lot. You have come quite far from where you've started. And I think that's what the message here is trying to say, that you should look and realize how far you have come. And what you want, it will come to you, but it will be a slow process. And I'm hearing that slow is better. Sometimes when you get something fast and easily, it can go just as quickly as it arrived. But when you take the time to really build something up, the foundation is sturdier and more reliable and dependent. You're taking the time to put each brick down and build something. I'm thinking of the story of the three little pigs. The first pig built his house out of straw. The second pig built his house out of sticks, I believe. And the third one built his house out of bricks. In terms of time, the first and second pig built their houses a lot quicker than the third pig, but their houses were destroyed relatively quickly and easily, and it didn't take a lot of effort on the wolf's part to tear their houses down. Whereas the third pig, who took his time building his house out of a strong foundation, his house was a lot safer, a lot more reliable and dependable than the first two pigs' houses. And I think that's how you have to look at it. You might not have the results that you want right now. You may not have achieved your goal, but I think it's better to take your time. It's better to build a strong foundation for yourself in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Each step is a necessary step to achieving what it is that you want to achieve. And I don't think any step should be overlooked. Each step is just as important as the next, and each step requires just as much attention and dedication as the next. And I think that's what the message here is trying to say. As I said in the beginning, there's a lot of restlessness on your part and a lot of I want it done right now. But I'm hearing that it's okay to take your time. There's no rush to success. Know that there's no rush to success. And know that it's okay to take your time. In fact, you're going to learn so much from taking your time and appreciating each step that it takes to get to what you want. There's so much that can be learned from every step it takes to get from the beginning of your journey to the end of your journey. There's so much that can be learned. And I think it's just, the message is to just throw yourself in that. Really realize that you've come a long way. It may feel like you're nowhere near where you want to be yet, but if you just take a minute to just sit back and look at how much you have done so far, you will realize that a lot has been done and you've done a lot to get where you are right now, and you should celebrate that. You should pat yourself on the back because you have done a lot more than you give yourself credit for. Yeah, I'm also hearing that at the moment you feel like you're at a standstill. I don't think you are at a standstill, but it feels like you are at a standstill because you feel like you've done so much and it doesn't feel like you've gotten any further. And I feel like you're just feeling a lot of negative emotions right now. And I'm hearing that you're criticizing yourself for feeling down. You feel like you're wasting time by feeling like you've done nothing. Wait a second. Yeah, I feel like you're very annoyed at yourself for feeling the way that you feel. You're aware that you feel bad at the moment and you're going through a real low point, but you're frustrated at yourself for going through this low point because it's wasting time and you could be using that time to work towards what you want. So again, you're never allowing yourself to really rest. You want to put a lid on your emotions and just get over it and just do what you have to do. There's no time for this pity party. But I think, again, I think this is part of the process and you shouldn't beat yourself up for feeling low and for feeling... I don't think you should beat yourself up for feeling low, because even though I feel as though you need to take the time to appreciate how far you have come, it should also be acknowledged that there are always going to be low points in the journey to achieving what you want. And there's no avoiding that. There's always going to be there's always going to be high points and there's always going to be low points. And you can't avoid feeling the low points. There's always going to be anger. There's going to be frustration. There's always going to be feelings of, ugh, is this what I should be doing? Am I making the right choice? Am I good enough? All those kind of questions. And I think that is a part of the process. And I don't think there's any avoiding that. And I think you should give that your complete attention. Whenever you feel like that, give those feelings your complete attention and really try and explore them and see where they're coming from and just give them the time of day. Because if you try and just put a lid on them and then keep going on in your journey without acknowledging them, they will come up again and again and again until you give them your attention. So I think you should take the time out and just sit with them and explore them. And I think that will be a lot quicker on your part to get through them if you would give them your attention rather than just pretending that they're not there. I'm getting the sense that whatever it is that you want, it is work related, it's career focused. You just feel like you're at a stagnant point right now and you don't know what more you can do. But I think whatever it is you are doing, just keep doing that. So the bottom line is, what can you do to feel good about yourself? Appreciate how far you have come and celebrate the small victories that you've accomplished. They might seem small, but small makes up the bigger picture. It's the small things that make up the bigger picture. And so I would encourage that you do celebrate your small victories, however small. Getting out of bed today and actually deciding to do some work, that's a victory in itself. I mean, a lot of us struggle with procrastination and negative self-talk and sabotage. So the fact that you can just get out of bed and just pull yourself into doing work, that's a victory in itself. And I think that's something you should acknowledge about yourself, your dedication and your commitment to doing whatever it is that you want to do. That's how you feel good about yourself, is realizing how much you do, how much work you do, and how far you've come, and how committed you are. I think a lot of us struggle with that. A lot of us struggle to stay committed to something. A lot of us struggle to complete things. And I feel like you're very driven to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. And you're just really frustrated that you're frustrated in yourself for not having done it yet. When really, I feel like you just have to, in order to feel good, you just have to realize that everything is in its correct timing and it will come to you. But you just have to be patient and trust that what you're doing is enough. There isn't any more that you can do. You're only human after all. So I think that's it. I hope that resonated with you in some way or another. Please let me know in the comment section below if it did. And if there's any other kind of videos that you would like to see, please let me know. I am very open to receiving any suggestions. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe and share it with anyone you think it may help. Thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Hi, if you're tuning into this reading, that means you picked the second crystal. And you got the Queen of Wands in reverse, the Three of Pentacles in reverse, the Ace of Wands in the upright, the Ten of Wands in the upright, the World in reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like this energy is quite similar to the first pile, so if that crystal caught your eye too, you might want to watch that reading as well. If not, don't. It's completely up to you. So again, I get the sense that this is quite work-related and goal-orientated. I feel like you're beating yourself up for not doing enough. I feel like there's so many things that you want to do, you struggle to do anything at all because you have such a high expectation of yourself. And I think it's completely fine to have a lot of goals and to be ambitious and to be driven and to want to achieve a lot of things. But I'm hearing that you want to do so many things at once. And I don't want to say it's not possible to achieve everything that you want to achieve, but it's like you want to have done them all now, if that makes sense. If you have a lot of goals, that's great, but in order to achieve those goals, you have to work on each goal one at a time. But it's like you want to attempt achieving all of them at the exact same time, and you're beating yourself up because you can't do that. But I don't think anyone can do that. If anything, you have to create a schedule for yourself and dedicate a small amount of time each day to working towards each goal if you do want to achieve them all relatively at the same time. But I'm hearing that you just have to take one goal at a time. And I think what's not helping you is that you see other people doing a lot of things. You see them achieving their goals and making things happen via social media, or it could be word of mouth, and it's making you feel like, sorry about that. What's making it worse for you is that you feel like everybody else is getting stuff done and making things happen. You go on social media or you hear it through word of mouth, and it just seems that people are really busy and they are a lot further than where you are. When they want to do something, they do it, and they have results to show off to people. Whereas you feel like you're still at the beginning stage. You feel like you just have a lot of great ideas, but you're not making anything happen. And when you see other people on social media posting things about their work, you think, how have they done this? You just don't get it. And rather than it inspiring you, it's making you feel worse about yourself and your work ethic. And I think you are a creative person, but I just think you need to organize your time better, or just focus your energy on one project at a time. I feel like you just wish you had done way more than you have done right now. And it's very possible for you to do all the things that you want to do, but I think you just have to go a lot easier on yourself. And also, with social media, people just show you what they want to show you. It's not a true reflection of what it is they're going through, or who they are as people, or how long it took them to create whatever it is they've created. And I think you need to take that into perspective. the things that they're posting, they may have worked months or maybe even years on it to get it done. But they just don't showcase the behind the scenes work. And I think that's what you have to take into consideration. It just looks like people are just making things happen at a drop of a hat, but that's never the case. Everything takes hard work and dedication, and it's just not something people usually showcase via their social media. So I don't think that's a good platform for you to judge your work ethic on. And I think if you want to feel better if you want to feel better about yourself, like I said, you should let other people's work inspire you rather than make it feel bad about yourself. And I'm also hearing that if you see some work on social media that you like, try reaching out to those people and asking them for advice on how it is they did what they did, especially if it's related to whatever kind of creative endeavor you're trying to pursue. Yeah, just reach out, connect with them, and they might help you along in your journey. They may not. It's completely up to them, but I'm hearing you might be surprised with what you find out or how many people are willing to help you, because a lot of the time we find in our own personal journeys that we struggle to find people to help us. So when someone comes to us for help, we're more than willing to help them because we wished we would have had that when we were starting out. So I don't think you should don't underestimate them, how much people will help you. That's not to say everyone will, but just don't underestimate how many people will help you and will be happy to help. I think that's generally the message. I think you are a very creative person and you have a lot of great ideas, but you talk yourself out of doing a lot of things just because what you want to do, it's so big, and that's completely fine, but it's just, I think it overwhelms you so much that you don't do anything at all in order to work towards it. And so I'm just hearing that if you want to feel good about yourself, you just have to take it one step at a time. Do a bit by bit each day, and that bit by bit will evolve eventually into what it is that you are trying to create. And also, once you find your rhythm, you will find it easier each day to then just work towards whatever it is. I think starting is always the hardest part of any journey. But and in the beginning, you almost have to force yourself to work. You almost have to force yourself to do something. But then eventually, if you force yourself, for lack of a better word, force yourself to do the work each day, it will then become a habit eventually, however long it takes. I think it takes they say it takes 21 days to form a habit, but I heard that for some people, it takes between 30 to 60 days to form a habit. And I don't want that to scare you, but because ultimately this is what you want. This is the thing that you want more than anything. And it's the thing that you enjoy and you think will give you happiness. So I think you should do what it requires in order for you to do what you want to achieve. So yeah, just in the beginning, it's going to feel like real effort to in the beginning, it's going to feel like a lot of effort to start this project off, to start whatever work it is that you want to start. But then eventually it'll get to the point where you'll get out of bed each day and you'll just naturally start working. Okay, obviously not start working straight away. I mean, brush your teeth, have a shower, whatever. But working towards this goal will become a natural part of your day because you forced yourself and made the effort to dedicate a small amount of your day each day to doing it, that it will become second nature. And I'm hearing that is how you will feel good about yourself. If you want to feel good about yourself, work towards the things that you want to work towards. Stop talking yourself out of it, because You have good ideas. You are a creative person, and you have every ability in the world to make this. And you have what it takes to make it happen. And you are the only person sabotaging yourself right now. You're the only person who's talking yourself out of it. There's nobody else. I'm making this video during lockdown right now. I mean, it doesn't matter when you watch this video, but I am making it during lockdown. And I'm hearing that you have so much time right now to work on personal projects, passion projects, love projects, and you have no idea when you're going to have this amount of time again. So this is the time. This is the time to throw yourself into something that you want to do. Indulge in your creativity, because I feel like you just have lots of it. And I feel like everything in the world is supporting you right now to do it. I think it's really just yourself. You are the only person talking yourself out of it. There isn't a person, there isn't a group of people around you that are telling you you're not good enough, you can't do it. You are the person who is talking yourself out of it. You're the one who's sabotaging yourself. So I'm hearing that if you want to feel good about yourself, do what you enjoy, do what makes you feel happy. And I feel like you know what that is. You have great ideas, as I've said so many times, and you have to have faith in yourself that you can do it. And that people will like it as well, whatever it is. I feel like it's something very artistic. I heard painting, but I don't think everyone that watched this is a painter. That's really weird if you are, but okay. Yeah, and I think that's just the general message. Lean into your creativity and put the time and effort into creating the art that you want to create. And people will want to see it too. So I hope that resonated with you in some way or another. If it did, please let me know in the comment section below. And also please leave any suggestions you may have for any videos that you may want me to create. I'm very open to hearing what kind of videos everyone wants to see. And if it did resonate with you, please like this video and subscribe and share it with anyone that you think it may help. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Hi, if you're tuning into this reading, then you picked the third crystal. I want to apologize in advance if you hear any noise in the background. That's coming from outside, and so there's nothing I can do about it. I shuffled your cards already, and you got the Hermit in reverse, the Six of Cups in the upright, the Ten of Swords in reverse, the Chariot in the upright, the Three of Wands in the upright, the Four of Wands in the upright, and the Three of Cups in the upright. I feel like there's been a similar energy throughout all three piles. They're not all completely the same, but it seems like everyone is essentially beating themselves up about something. And I feel like as of late, you've been thinking about the past, something that you did in the past that you haven't completely forgiven yourself about. You keep on reliving that memory or that event, that situation, whatever it is, you keep reliving it in your mind and beating yourself up about it. And even though you keep beating yourself up about it and you keep reliving it, at the same time, I feel like there is a reluctance on your part to really go into that memory. And that sounds really contradictory, but I'm hearing that you're only looking at the situation in one way, and there is another way of looking at it. And the way you're looking at it is that you're completely responsible for everything that happened, and I don't think that's the case. And I feel like you really have to, as hard as it is, go into that memory, whatever it is, and really ask yourself why you feel completely responsible for what happened. What led up to that situation? Was it normal for you to react in the way that you did. I'm getting the sense that you might be I'm getting the sense that you may be somewhat of a people pleaser. And so you're a lot harder on yourself than you have to be. I'm getting the sense that whatever you did, how you reacted, it was justified. And probably a lot of people would have done the exact same thing you did. But I think that you praise yourself on being such a good person, an honorable person, a person of moral and dignity, that you look back in that memory and you see it as being a real low point. And it's not how you would usually behave. And you're embarrassed and ashamed of whatever it is you did. But I'm hearing that the person involved, they're not as innocent as you're making them out to be in your mind. They very well may have provoked you or behaved in a way that makes sense for you to have responded in that way. I mean, you're human after all, and things like anger and hatred are really frowned upon and they're seen as negative emotions to have. But these emotions exist for a reason. If we weren't supposed to feel them, they wouldn't exist. And a lot of the time, there are a lot of people or situations who make us feel that way, and there's nothing wrong in that. It doesn't make you a bad person to get angry about something, to feel badly about someone or towards someone, especially if they're not treating you respectfully. And I think that's what you really need to look at. I feel like you're so ashamed of how you behaved, and you feel like you should have been the bigger person about it. You should have behaved in you should have behaved in a much more mature way. But I think you need to be a lot easier on yourself. I think you need to realize that you probably weren't that bad. I mean, I don't know what this memory is, but I'm hearing that you're just being a lot harder on yourself than you need to be. And also, I think you have to stop criticizing negative emotions, because there's nothing wrong in feeling anger or hatred towards someone if they did something horrible towards you as well. But yeah, I feel like you just you have a lot of regret towards how you acted. And even so, if it is the case that you acted in a bad way and it wasn't justified, it's not helping to beat yourself up. If anything, take this as a lesson and learn from it and know to act differently in the future. And also I'm hearing that, like I said earlier, you see yourself as a good person. And you don't associate yourself with being an angry person or a person who's full of hatred towards other. I feel like you probably see yourself as a very peaceful person and a forgiving person. But I'm hearing that you should look inside yourself and acknowledge that those other qualities, anger, hatred, revenge, those other emotions, they also exist within you. You may not exercise them as much as forgiveness and turning the other cheek and what have you, but they do exist inside of you. Just because you don't exercise them doesn't mean that they don't exist and that you're not capable of acting out those emotions and those qualities. I almost feel like you think, I'm not sure whether you're aware of this, but I get the sense that you feel that being a forgiving person is a lot better than someone who holds a grudge. And I'm not saying that it is, and I'm not saying that it isn't, but I think everyone is capable of being both of these people. We can sometimes be forgiving and we can sometimes hold a grudge. And sometimes being forgiving is beneficial towards us, and sometimes holding a grudge is also beneficial towards us because it's a way of protecting ourselves from people who intentionally want to cause us harm. And I think with the hermit being here especially, I'm hearing that you should go inside yourself and probably open up your idea of what being angry and what being a vengeful person really is. And I feel like you just automatically see that as being a bad thing. But I think you have to revisit those qualities and look at them in a different light and be more understanding towards them. Because if you are, then you will be more understanding toward yourself and other people in the world who are like that. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I think you may also see being a forgiving person as being more superior to those who aren't forgiving, who aren't as forgiving. And I think you should look at that. I think this reading is calling you to take a look at that, to really go into that and really try and understand the other perspective. Because I think you're at one extreme of being so forgiving, even to the point where it's not helping you. And I think you need to look at the other side and see why some people are like that, why you have rejected it so strongly for yourself, why you don't allow yourself to be that kind of person. Yes, that's what I'm seeing. And it's going to help you be a lot kinder towards yourself. If those kinds of feelings do come up where you feel angry towards someone or you don't like someone, I think you're going to be a lot kinder to yourselves. You're going to be a lot kinder to yourself when those feelings do come up, because you're going to be more understanding of it. And know that it's okay to not like someone. It's okay to feel anger and all the rest of it. I think you just really need to take some time out and really try and understand where your perception of these so-called negative feelings come from, and really see if you can see a justification of those feelings. I think that would help you out a lot. I'm also hearing that if you do this, okay, this isn't how I typically read these two cards, but for some reason I am. There's the 3 of Wands here and the 4 of Wands here, as I said. And I'm hearing at the moment, the foundation you have in yourself is the 3 of Wands. And in order to have a sturdier foundation in yourself, you need to take a look at your feelings towards these negative emotions. And once you have a better understanding towards that, then you will be a 4 of Wands and have a much more sturdier foundation in yourself. Because right now, when those natural feelings of anger and so on come up, you are very critical of yourself and you don't allow yourself to truly feel them. You push them down because you don't agree with them. And that's not helping you. In the long run, it's not helping you. And so I feel like you have to explore these emotions and your perceptions of these negative emotions. And in return, you will have a stronger foundation in yourself. And these beliefs and these perceptions, they may have occurred when you were a child. They may have occurred when you were a child. If ever you were angry, you were scrutinized for it. You were told off and told it's not good to be angry, whatever. I get the sense that it's a belief that has been rooted in you from childhood. And so whenever those feelings would come up, you had the understanding that it's not okay to be angry. It's better to be agreeable and to be more understanding of other people than it is for people to understand why it is you're angry in the first place. This idea of being more, accommodating towards other people this idea of being more accommodating to other people and how they would respond to your anger, how your anger may make them feel uncomfortable, then people validating your anger and why it is you feel that way in the first place. I think there's a lesson here in learning how to validate your own feelings and recognizing that it's okay to be angry, as I've said 100 times, and not everyone is comfortable with emotion. If someone cries or if someone's angry, a lot of the time people don't know how to deal with it. Some people deal with it well and other people, they don't know how to deal with it. And I think a lot of the time when we are children, I'm not blaming parents here, but parents may have told you off for being angry or told you off for crying or told you to stop it or don't be that way. And I don't think they had any ill intention when saying these things to you because they didn't realize the deep impact it would have towards you. But I think their way of telling you to stop being angry or don't be angry or don't cry, it's because they didn't know how to deal with your emotions and they just felt so uncomfortable that they needed it to stop. And I don't think they were trying to be selfish, but they just honestly didn't know how to deal with it. And in turn, you grew up with the idea that just being angry in general is a bad thing and something that you should never do. And that has caused imbalance within yourself because I'm sure there have been many situations in your life where you had every right to feel angry, but because you had this idea that angry is not a good thing to be or to feel, you never truly let yourself express that. And I'm hearing that you should start getting angry. Okay, not just like get angry for no reason at all, but angry isn't necessarily always yelling and screaming at people, which is how it's generally perceived to be. Anger can be expressed in a variety of ways. It can be expressed through writing, through painting, through so many artistic expressions. And I'm hearing you should tune into your anger and allow yourself to express it in whatever medium that may be. And I think you'll find a lot of joy in doing so and allowing yourself to be free in this way. I think it will be a very liberating feeling for you to let yourself feel anger and even enjoy being angry. I'm hearing it might be a slow journey from where you are right now and completely not allowing yourself to express anger until to getting to the point where you express anger without any inhibitions whatsoever. But it will be a good one. And I'm hearing it will probably take time for you to get to a place. I'm hearing it may take time for you to get to a place where expressing anger feels normal and you have no guilt whatsoever in expressing that anger, but you will get there eventually if you start to really sit with your anger now, get to know it and explore it and allow yourself to express it. You'll eventually get to the point where you won't feel any regret or guilt towards expressing it and you won't beat yourself up about it. So yes, that is the bottom line of your message. If you want to feel good, let yourself feel whatever negative emotion that may arise and it will make you feel good. You need to let that out. You need to empty yourself of all those emotions that you've suppressed. Let yourself scream. You don't have to scream, but you might. Anyway, so that is the bottom line. I hope this message resonated with you in one way or another. If it did, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you have any suggestion for any other videos you may want to see, please let me know. If it resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe. And if you think it might help anybody else, please share it with them. That'll be a lot of help. And thank you so much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.